This week, we're taking it back to one of our classic toolboxes. This is where it all started. This is my Clarke Rollcab, and this has got 6 and 6 drawers, and then this big top drawer here. And this is where shadow foam began, really. When I was working on the tools, I was steadily building up my tool set, and I bought this big toolbox here. And quite quickly, I realized every time I opened the drawer, no matter how neatly I laid everything out, as soon as I opened the drawer, everything bounced around everywhere. I was working as a maintenance engineer in a factory, so fixing different machines from different parts of the world means you need quite a broad array of tools. So what we're going to be doing today is working on these top 2 drawers, and we're going to be moving them over to the new shadow foam grade. So this grade is in layers. You just cut around the tools, peel them back, and we're going to do the 2 top drawers we're going to do in blue. And because we've got 7 colours of foam and we've got 7 sets of drawers essentially, we're going to be doing each set of 2 is going to be a different colour. It'll be a different video. We're going to work our way through the box, and then we're going to have the 7th colour red in the top. So these top 2 drawers we're doing today is going to be a full set of, these are Britool Expert Spanners, which are great. And then we've got our kind of circlip and mechanical plier drawer over here. Any guesses what this is? Drop a guess in the comments. This is made by Facom. It's got quite a particular use. Let me know if you recognise this and you know what it is. Let me know in the comments. There's a few other little unusual tools in here. We've got some end nippers, or like fences nippers, these are sometimes called. And then we've got some, these are aviation kind of like wire twisters. We're going to put all of those into blue shadow foam inserts, and we're going to be using one with the black surface face in the top with the blue underneath. But then as our foam inserts are reversible, we're going to do the other one with the blue facing forwards, and hopefully that will show the 2 different effects that you can achieve. So these shadow foam sheets, these are custom size. These are 620 by 530 from our custom size page on our website. But these sheets, we could have cut this out of one of our standard 1200 by 550mm sheets. And the same, you can do the same thing. All of our foam is reversible. You can flip it over, lay out, cut all your tools in the back, and then peel back the layers. It works the exact same way. So yeah, let's get started. We're going to start with the spanner drawer first. And fortunately, we've already got the layout sorted, so I don't have to worry about that. We're going to be going for the exact same layout we've got here. The only difference being is we're going to be doing a finger pull. We'll cut a finger pull across here, but we're going to go for the exact same layout. So these Britool Expert Spanners, these are great. I think I bought them in a set of 14 or 15 possibly, which came with most of the common sizes. But then the good thing is you can buy them individually, right down to, I think I've got 5mm here, which is the smallest they do. And they do go bigger than this, but I went up to a maximum 36mm, which is, don't think I've ever used it. But you know, it was a case of balancing out the drawer and having every single size we needed. So usually in the UK, I mean, the maximum I was using is 24mm, 27mm, but these extra sizes, possibly 32, I seem to remember using that one for something. But you know, it's all about having everything you need for when you need it. So as I've said, this foam's off our custom size page, and if you do go on the website and buy this foam exactly like this, you will get a free cutting kit. So if your order's over £25, you'll get one of our basic cutting packs, which is basically it's some instructions, a sticker, it's a scalpel and 5 blades. So that's everything you need to get started. But if your order's over £75, you'll get one of these full cutting kits. So this contains some anti-cut gloves, which I really highly recommend that you wear whenever you're using a scalpel. It also includes some repair glue, so if you make any mistakes and you want to, or you change your mind on the layout, you can glue the pieces back on and start again. You also get in here a sticker sheet. So these are quite cool. You get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stickers on here, a few different designs and styles and sizes, so that's quite cool. You also get a scalpel and you get 5 blades again as well. So everything you need to cut and repair and cut safely. Right, so we're going to start with this, all the big spanners first, because basically when it comes to the smaller spanners, we're going to be able to squeeze them in a bit if we need to. We can play around with those a little bit easier. The big spanners, we've pretty much got to fit that entire row in that gap, otherwise we won't be able to fit them all in the drawer. Now, just as a quick one, you might be thinking watching this, or you may not have thought this, but you may have thought this, why are we not putting them on the side? And that is a good question if you were questioning it. And the answer is that we could put them on the side. I mean, when I was decking out this toolbox originally, so when I cut this first liner here, you know, 7, 8 years ago, when I first cut all the spanners in, I didn't have these. They were too expensive for me. I think I first had a really cheap set of spanners, which I then upgraded to these Britool Expert, and I probably only had, you know, the first initial 15 of them. And then over time, as each payday came by, I bought a couple more and tried to increase the set. And I wanted to fill the drawer, so I remember having all of the spanners up to here, up to I think 24mm, whichever one that is. And then over time, I filled up the drawer, because I knew that some of these sizes I was lending, or I was using a big adjustable spanner for. So I gradually increased the set. So at the time when I started this, there was no need for them to be on the side. Now, it probably would make a bit more sense to put them on the side, because I'd be able to fit a whole nother set of spanners in. The only thing is, I don't have another set of spanners. And there's not another set of spanners that I need, because in the top box here, we've got a full set of Imperial, AF, or standard spanners, depending where you're from. So to you Americans, I know that these, you'd have probably loads of different options for standard or AF spanners. In the UK, we don't use them as much. So this is like your typical set you'd buy off the shelf. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 standard spanners, and a couple of these snap-on ratchet spanners. And that's all I've got for standard, and it's all I'll ever need, and I didn't really need any of them. I think I worked in one factory that had a machine from America, and we had to use a few of the different sizes on that. And other than that, in the aviation industry in the UK, obviously worldwide aviation uses standard, but again, that's not something I've been. So the answer is we're going to put them all laying down like this, because for my needs and for the needs of this toolbox, it's actually quite nice to be able to see the size instantly. I can look in the drawer and quickly see it's 23mm, 24mm, 25mm. So we're going to go for them like this. First thing to do, once you've done your layout and you're happy with where everything's going, you pick your starting point, and we've already cut and peeled back this piece of foam to start with. And it's simple as place the item where you want it to go, cut around it, and then peel back the foam insert. And you can see that one there is quite satisfying. It fits in there and it looks great. But we'll talk you through the process with the next one, and then we'll skip through and do a time lapse and show you the whole drawer finished. Important to use a ruler. We want to make sure that all these spanners end up nice and square to each other. So it's 42mm the gap there. And we're going for a minimum of 5mm gap between the tools. We want to make sure that there is enough space between them, and that we've got the same gap at the bottom as well. Brilliant. So once we're happy where it's going, we're going to make sure we've got our anti-cut gloves on. These scalpels that we send out are super sharp. We send out these Swan Morton blades, British made, Sheffield made blades that are absolutely clinical, and every single blade is sharp with them. That's why we use them, because they're so reliable. But you want to make sure you've got the gloves on. So once you've placed the item where you want it to go, you want to put a little bit of pressure on it so it doesn't move, and then you want to just cut around it. And what we're using the tip of the blade like a pencil or like a pen, and we're literally just cutting slightly into the material. And you want to make sure that the blade is perpendicular to the foam, or 90 degrees to the foam. And the goal here is not to cut very deep, it's just to capture that silhouette, capture that profile on the foam. Now you can, if you're not confident with the blade, you can use a long nose marker for this. But the problem with the long nose markers is usually they'll leave a little bit of a mark on the foam. You can usually wipe that off depending which one you're using. And we've used an Edding silver marker in the past, and that works quite well. The other thing with a blade, with a marker, is it's got quite a wide tip. You're talking 1mm, 1.5mm on the tip of the blade, so you're losing a little bit of the accuracy. So we tend to recommend just using the knife itself, because once you've cut all the way around it, you can remove the spanner, and if you press on the foam, you can expose that cut that you've made. And you can see, we can now just follow it around and make it a lot deeper. So that spanner's about 10mm deep. So all we need to do is cut down past 10mm. 10mm is the minimum. So we can push the blade in and make sure we're cutting. We can cut all the way down 20mm if we need to. There's no problem overshooting and cutting down deeper than you need to go. This is a 50mm foam liner, and it doesn't matter if we're cutting down 20mm, 25mm into it. We just want to make sure we're not undercutting, because then we'll tear the foam instead of peeling it. So once we've cut all the way around and we're confident that we've met back up at the beginning, all we have to do then, it's easier to do this with the gloves off. So you take the gloves off and just starting at one end of the tool, you're just digging your fingers in and you're forcing the foam back. Now, a common mistake is that people grab it at one edge and then try and peel it like a banana, as if it's just going to fall away. But obviously we don't want that to happen, because if the foam just fell apart, it wouldn't last very long. It would last probably 2 minutes before it started delaminating and looking scruffy. So we actually bond these layers quite solidly together, but not, if a normal slab of foam is one chunk and it won't peel really. You probably can separate it, but it'd be really hard work. With this laminated foam, this is a 50mm sheet here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers and then a top layer, and we can get a nice peel on the foam, but we have to follow it along. So we're just pushing my fingers behind, we're just following that peel all the way along. And then one thing we will do as well is, because the bottom of this ring spanner kicks up and there's a bit more depth there, I'll just put this glove back on. And we're just going to cut down a little bit deeper where that ring sits to make sure that we're going to have a nice flush finish. And that should be perfect, 32mm, there he is. And that is great. So we're going to follow that process all the way across, and we've done that row. We'll come back and we'll talk about putting in some finger pulls to make it easy to get them out. Okay, so I've cut that first row in, and we've got them all lined up nicely at the bottom edge here. Now the drawer that this is going in is a top drawer, and we've got a slight kind of overhang at the back, so it works quite nicely with these spanners here, because the drawer only comes out so far, but I'll still be able to see the size on each spanner, and we'll be able to get them out quite easily. But the one thing to factor in then is that our finger pull wants to be a little bit further forward, because naturally you would probably think, let's put it bang on center. But in reality, because we've got this overhang here, we want the finger pull to be slightly forward. So what I've got here is one of our aluminium straight edges. These are available on our website for $19.99, and they're a really nice, robust ruler. So they make easy work of doing something like this, which is like a long, straight finger pull. So all we're gonna do is take all the spanners out, and we're gonna cut all the way across. So like I say, we're not gonna go for the center, we're just going to come a little bit further forward and go about there. And just make sure it's square using another ruler. It's 115. So all we have to do, once we've got the ruler in position, we're just going to cut this front edge here. We just have to run the knife across. Simple as that. And then we're going to do a 25mm finger pull. So we're going to do it a ruler's width, which is 25mm is the perfect size we found for finger pulls, because you've got more than enough room there for your finger, but it doesn't look too distracting or too big. It kind of just balances nicely. There we go. So once we've done that, we can then cut a second line. And all we're doing is we're cutting down to roughly the same level that we've peeled out layers to, because we want to be able to get our fingers in there underneath. So once you've done that, you just follow those cuts, just peeling out the foam all the way along. And that's spot on. So we'll put all the spanners back in. We can see the final effect. And that looks fantastic. You can get the spanners in and out nice and easily, and that's going to work in the drawer. We've got the drawers coming out to here, so we've got a nice bit of room there to get your hand in without hitting the back of the toolbox. So we'll obviously, once we've done that front row there, we'll chuck it in the drawer so you can see the final effect there. But we'll just cut this front row of spanners, and then we'll slap it in the toolbox. So that wraps it up. We've finished the full draw in the new Shadow Foam grade, and I'm really happy with the results. I think the Fingerpulls give it a real different feel to the Shadow Foam original. So the Shadow Foam original grade was softer, so it wasn't as durable, but you didn't really need the Fingerpulls necessarily because you could just kind of push the foam down. But like I say, it wasn't as durable, it's not a sustainable product, and obviously we've kind of moved on to the new grade of foam. But I much prefer the finish there. This is much more durable. Obviously, if you were using these and got oil on this and put it back, you'd be able to wipe the oil away. You'd be able to, if you had any solvents or any chemicals on the tools, you'd be able to, it wouldn't damage the foam, you'd be able to wipe it off. So this is a big upgrade for a tool liner, and it's also much more durable. You know, if I put all the spanners in this, it would sag. Whereas this piece of foam here, it's a really stout tray. So we'll slap it in the toolbox and see if it fits. So that is the first drawer that we've upgraded. We've taken it from the old grade to the new stuff, but we're going to do every other drawer in this box. We're probably going to try and speed up and do 2 in a video. Sadly, this video got a little bit out of hand. We've left it. We try and do a video every single week, and obviously this week we've run out of time a little bit. So this is Thursday afternoon, and the video goes out tomorrow. So that just shows you how fine we're cutting it at Shadow Foam. We're so busy getting all your orders out. It's been Black Friday just gone. We had loads of orders on the website, and we still got the Black Friday offer running. We were only going to be doing it for the Friday and the weekend, 15% off site wide, but we had so many people email and say that they'd missed out because they weren't in work, that we thought we'd extend it, and we've run it for the whole of this week, and it's running through this weekend. So when you're watching this video, we've still got today, because we've releasing this video at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, so we've still got the rest of today. We've got Saturday and Sunday to get you 15% off. So head over to the website, it's Black Friday 15, and you can get 15% off. And make sure you subscribe, because all of these drawers, we're going to be transforming them, and we're going to be changing the layouts, probably tweaking what tools are in there, and we're going to be changing them over to the new Shadow Foam grade. Okay, so thanks very much for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.